Spoiler alert, Masked Singer fans, here is every single clue explained for the Wasp, proving that he is Mario. His masked ambassador was Neo, who mentioned the Wasp took his words of wisdom, and Neo wrote Mario's biggest hit, Let Me Love You. Wasp talked about growing up in a tough neighborhood but learning how to fight, and Mario was born and raised in West Baltimore. We saw this planet Mars, and he has an EP called Closer to Mars. They showed a heart balloon pop, and he is known for his love songs. And he talked about being on some of the biggest screens and stages in the world. And Mario is in movies like Step Up and Freedom Riders, and has also toured internationally. We saw these fresh kicks, and Mario has a song called Nike's Fresh Out the Box. He talked about living with over a dozen family members growing up, and in interviews before, Mario has said that he lived with up to 18 family members in one house. We saw this crab, and he's from Maryland. Wasp talked about how his dad wasn't always around, and Mario was raised by his grandma. He leaned on this step ladder, and he was in the movie Step Up. He also mentioned taking live performances to new heights, and he was in Rent Live. He said his mom was his hero, but she faced a dark battle and passed away. Mario's mom battled a heroin addiction and passed away in 2017. We saw this stethoscope, and in his song Crying Out For Me, he says, I can hear your heart. We saw this treasure map, which I'm going to say is a map of an empire, a show that he was on. There was this double helix in his clues, and he has an album called DNA. The Men in Black brought out this $1 million bill, and he said he's hit 1 million. Mario has sold 2.3 million albums. One week he said he grew up without a consistent example of love in his life, but now he has someone riding alongside him. And Mario is currently dating Chris Stevens. At different times he mentioned U-turns and Turning Point is the name of one of his albums. His best friend and cousin mentioned that he's put out hits, done live theater, and starred in one of the biggest shows of the decade. Mario has had #1 hits, was in Rent Live, and was in the cast of Empire. Wasp talked about his mom signing him up for a talent show, which he won and immediately got signed after. And that happened to Mario because he was discovered and signed by producer Troy Patterson after singing at a talent show at Coppin State College at age 11. Finally, we saw this Nashville friendship bracelet, which he sent to Robin. And Robin and Mario both joined Neo on his Champagne and Roses tour. Did I get them all? Let me know in the comments, and don't miss the Masked Singer finale this week.